Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our listeners. If you don't know who I am, my name is Rita Houkayem, and it has been a great honor to be part of the Lebanese Film Festival and to be hosting and moderating some of the discussions we've had so far. I have the pleasure to be moderating the second discussion with my dear friend and fellow expert in the world of cinema, Sam Lahoud. We will be discussing today cinema and social responsibility. And before we dive in, I will present again for who does not know Sam, who he is, just a few background details, and then we'll dive into the discussion. So whoever didn't listen to the bio the first time, I will say it again. And this is very brief to what he's accomplished. So Sam has decades of accomplishments. Sam is a script writer, a director, a producer, a script consultant, and a lecturer in film, theater, and media. He started his career in film and theater in 1994, and since then, he has written, directed, and produced theater plays, films, and documentaries, which received many national and international recognitions and awards. Sam is active in cross-cultural productions and is permanently working on different film projects. I don't know when he sleeps, but he still does incredible things without sleep. Sam is the founding chair of Beirut Film Society and producer at Beirut Production. He is the founding director of Beirut International Women Film Festival, uh, director of Beirut Shorts at NDU, which is the International Film Festival, founder of so many other film festivals, up to 11, and is the program director of the Lebanese Film Festival. So listeners, I present to you Sam Lahoud.
Rita, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
you,
for this
Sam.
introduction.
Thank
I'm
you
happy
for
to be with you for the second time.
I am so happy, and I was just saying to you, it would be a dream to just take one class with you, or to be involved in one project, and that would make my
In my career in education, I wait semester after semester for students like you, like serious, talented, and very active. This is really, I would have loved to have you in my classes.
I will sincerely do it as a bucket list. Just take one course. I mean, we have all the time in the world with COVID, so I will really consider it some. I swear.
Rita, I work a lot with my students, and mainly our team in Beirut Film Society is mostly like more than 90% are students that passed in my classes. And I love this energy of working with them. This makes me feel all the time, let's say, young,
Mm.
and they are very productive, energetic, creative. And normally in my projects, I select the best of the best from my students, and they become later my partners and my work partners and my colleagues in all the projects we do together.
Incredible.
So far, I've been, as you said, I've been in education since 26 years. And now I can say proudly that more than, I guess more than 100 students worked in my projects. I mean, worked in many projects, even more. And we have
عم
and in Beirut Film Society, which is the model that we will be discussing today. Today we'll be discussing in social responsibility the model of Beirut Film Society, the association and NGO that we established in Lebanon. We started in 2007 working in different projects, and we established it as an official NGO since 2017. And we will discuss it during our cinema and social responsibility talk.
Yes, and looking forward to it. So, like you mentioned, our topic today will be on cinema and social responsibility, and it's also very super relevant because in today's world, everything we do, we're always thinking about how can we do something to better the world. It's no longer good enough to just create a movie. It's always about how is this movie going to affect positively or negatively the world? Are we being socially responsible citizens? In our work positions and what we create. So it's a great topic. I'm looking forward to it. And before we dive in specifically into your organization or the context in Lebanon, can you just give us a brief definition first of what is even social responsibility?
Well, when the terminology emerged like 10 years ago, in fact, this is something we tend to do in our whole life.
Yeah.
And it has been there since the beginning. but maybe people did not know how to set it in a definition or in a certain terminology. Social
Yes.
responsibility lies in every moment. Every one of us uh, uh, uses her or his abilities, talent, job, professional skills to serve the society. And 10 years ago, we started hearing about, around 10 years or a bit more, about uh, corporate social responsibility, CSR.
Right.
And it became like a trend at a certain moment.
Mm-hmm.
And all the companies, associations, corporate institutions, banks, whatever it is, they changed the sponsorship school or method into more corporate social responsibility. And they started being involved in projects that are socially responsible. What does it mean, socially responsible? As we said, it serves a certain cause in society. When we started working with my students in different projects back in 2006, 2007, we launched a terminology called cinema for a cause. Like we want to make cinema, but for a cause. And we started repeating this among our communities, our groups, students, or colleagues or friends. We are doing cinema for a cause, which means we will do a film or whatever activity related to cinema to serve a certain cause. And this is social responsibility. Like now, if you are in university in a certain region, like for instance, Notre Dame University, which is the university I teach in, and I work since more than 20 years. I started at NDU in 1993, graduated in 1997, and became a staff and faculty member in 2000. So at NDU, we are geographically located in a what was supposedly to be a village before Zouk Musbeh. Now it's a city, it's a town. There's Lebanon is all one big city. It's related. You do not know when a city ends and another one starts, or a village. So everything is related because of the density of population and a lot of constructions. So when NDU was established, it started taking the staff members and workers from the region around it. So this is being socially responsible toward the region where you are located. Okay. So you are opening job opportunities. Later, they started doing activities like cultural activities, literature, poetry, reading sessions, trainings to serve the community around the university, and then larger to the region, and then larger to the whole country. So when you cannot, when you are a private university, for instance, your job does not consist only of giving classes and teaching and receiving tuition fees. You have a role to play in the society to develop it, to use research, scientific labs, engineering, whatever. All your resources became in this to serve. You will use them to serve the community, to serve the society and the country at a larger scale, and even humanity at a larger scale. Okay. So this is why all the development, the new theories, new notions, they start in universities and schools. And even in medicine, like now, because it's the topic, health is the most important topic now in the world. So I bet all the universities around the world are doing all the research needed to find whatever is needed to solution for this pandemic. So this is for any institution, even if it's a bank, it's an association, and even it became more popular in companies that they cause problems to environment, like fuel, petroleum, fuel, even ecological, like in Lebanon, Kissarat, when you go and dig the mountains. So this company, they break a part of the environment, and then they invest money in social responsibility, so to shift attention from their so it became a trend at a certain moment. Yes. For those companies, for banks, for insurance, they moved now from this trend of social responsibility into social media activation campaigns because it's more trendy. However, responsible people preserve the socially responsible activities because this is not a trend that starts at a certain moment and ends.
Right.
It's a lifestyle. It's something we have to do all the way in order to preserve a better planet.
Right.
Now, our notions are no more just what's happening around us in the village or in the country. It's global. My daughter, who is 15 years old, was following the American elections. And she was asking me all the time about the results. And she was worried that Trump may win. And I told her, why are you worried? Because of the situation in Lebanon? Because, you know, we have all the Lebanese, they think about the American elections that may change something in Lebanon. She told me, no, Dad, because of this man Trump does not acknowledge global warming.
Climate change, right.
And climate change. So a 15 years old child, teenager, is worried about the American elections because she thinks about global warming.
Incredible.
So this is what is social responsibility, you know. And we say, and also she mentioned the thing about abuse and about women harassment and racism and things
Wow.
that maybe they won't affect us in Lebanon. They affect life on Earth. Because when you are in such a big responsible position like the president of the United States, you are the president of the world, not only the United States, and everything that happens there will influence how we live, how we think, how we behave.
Yes.
So this is how we are socially responsible. Every institution has a responsibility to behave, to set the mission statement, their vision, their objectives in a way that serve the society, either the smaller society around them, either the life of their employees, the staff members, or even the society in general.
Okay, beautiful. And thank you for really going in depth of what is social responsibility, and for not only saying that now it started as a trend, but it is something that must remain as a lifestyle, as a way of thinking. And it gives me hope when I hear 15-year-olds like your daughter saying that it affects us all. It's not just caring selfishly about how am I going to benefit, but how is the society going to benefit as a whole. And that's a great way of living for us to be able to thrive all together. So saying that it shouldn't be just a trend, and saying that it should be incorporated in institutions. Obviously, the world of cinema is an industry. So do you think when it comes to filmmaking, how important is it to have a social responsibility when creating film? And is it mandatory for let's say every movie that comes out to be socially responsible?
Definitely, the cinema industry is mainly an entertainment tool. So usually when we make films, we make them as a medium for entertainment, to entertain people, to make them laugh, to make them feel happy, to relieve, to give them this catharsis feeling of relief at the end of the film, whatever it is. However, and I have to say that it's a matter of choice. So either you want to be solely an entertainment tool, or you want to put different layers that are socially responsible. We know very much that a lot of films, even I can say that the most entertaining films hold a socially responsible layer. And normally I don't like to use the word message, because as I tell my students, we are not messengers, we are not prophets, we are artists. And we have ideas and we want to share them with the audience. Maybe one of the audience, someone will take this idea as a message, that's fine, good for them. But we do not give messages. We do not deliver messages, we just share ideas. And we share those ideas in an artistic way. Like I would like to take, for instance, a very beautiful film, Lebanese film called Ghadi, written by George Khabbaz and directed by Amin Durra and produced by the Talkies.
Loved it.
And this film is an entertaining film. We laugh all the time in the film. There is a lot of humor in it. However, this film speaks about accepting the different other. And we can see all the characters, the layers in the characters that are. We have the main protagonists in the film are all somehow different. We have the African,
Oh,
the
yeah.
African, the lunatic man, a little bit crazy. We have the prostitute.
Mhm.
We have the homosexual. And all those together, they gather to make a difference with the main character who is the Down syndrome. So we have 5 or 6 characters. Each one is different than what we perceive as the normal, regular person. And those people, they are all together. And also we have the drunk man. So all of them, they have some weakness or deficiency, or at a certain level, they are different from what we perceive as the normal person. And those people, they are doing something beautiful, something fun. They take us to the clouds at a certain moment in the emotions. So this is a socially responsible film. And in cinema, we have 3 layers of social responsibility.
Okay.
First layer, it's in filmmaking,
Okay.
in making a film. So we may have films that are socially responsible. Second factor is film festivals and events and competitions. So we have a lot of festivals on the planet. It's good to know that we have around 9,900 film festivals and events now active on on
In the
on the
world.
planet, everywhere, internationally, worldwide. So around 10,000. Most of them are dedicated to a certain theme, like human rights, ecology, women issues, children, uh, uh, queer, LGBT, uh, uh, Africans. You can find a lot of festivals dedicated to issues
Variety.
related to minorities, to human rights, and so those events are socially responsible.
Okay.
And the third factor is trainings and capacity building and workshops that can be organized by film entities, associations, or NGOs, or by schools or whatever, and to serve a certain socially responsible cause. And this is the case of Beirut Film Society. This is why I wanted to say
Yes.
that we will tackle this issue from the how Beirut Film Society functions.
Okay. Do we want to tackle this now, or can I ask a few other questions, or did
If
you
you
want
have
to?
other questions, and then we go back to this,
Yes,
of course.
I do have 1 or 2 more questions before we go into the Beirut Film Society. So we've talked about movies and filmmakers, but obviously a movie and filmmakers are nothing without the actors. I'm wondering if you also think it's important for actors to be socially responsible or vocal in their views, not just on screen, but off screen. And how do you feel about actors that are not considered good people or ethical people and being hired in movies? Like, do you think they should stay separate? Like, how do you feel about that?
Definitely, it's a free world, and everyone has the right to take any position, any job. However, it's not only necessary for an actor or a star to be socially responsible. It's mandatory,
Okay.
because you cannot know who from the teenagers or children see this person as a model. You cannot imagine. Sometimes they just every celebrity has their fan, and even celebrities like social media celebrities that they start by one day they become a celebrity, and maybe in the second year nobody will talk about them. However, during this presence on media for this year, they are very influential. So they influence a lot of people, especially youth and the children. And if, as a celebrity or a film star or a media celebrity, if you do not understand the importance of how much you are influencing youth and the children, this is very dangerous.
Yes.
Very dangerous, because young generation, they look at those stars as a role model, they look up to them, and they can be influenced by every single idea. And I can observe on my phone all the time people that are a little bit, I should not use the terminology, but pathetic to a certain, sometimes they speak about, like some celebrities, they just post a video talking about they want to suicide, or they want to end their life, or taking out their romantic problems and on media. And this is very dangerous. I definitely respect what they are feeling, and that they may need to express this and say it somewhere, but definitely they should not use
Promoting
their
it.
media and their status as stars or celebrity to spread negative ideas. So this is also uh, like freedom of expression and freedom of use of tools, devices. Like today, the European Union today, they had a summit between the presidents of Germany, France, Italy, UK, and they decided to limit the freedom of expression on social media, on messages related to hate and negative influence on youth. So if we have this grace, نعمة, we have a privilege, this privilege of having being free to express ourselves and having the tool to deliver our ideas and our pictures and videos to everywhere. This is something that we should use it responsibly. It's the same way like you drink or you smoke, you have to use it responsibly.
Yeah, just because it's out there doesn't mean you abuse it and
Yes.
take advantage of it and hurt yourself and others. As long as it's being done within respectful means. Agreed. Okay, so that was just always a question I have when it comes to actors. So can you now tell us about this great example of a socially responsible institution in the film industry, which is also known as the Beirut Film Society? Can you please let us know more about it and why?
Okay, I will use it as a role as a model. Okay, we are using this as a model for our audience to understand how an NGO or a association can function under the title of responsible filmmaking or socially responsible filmmaking. Like we produce we contributed in the production of different films.
Okay.
So when we do this, we select the films wisely, and we select films that are socially responsible. Like the first film we did as a group before even calling ourselves Beirut Film Society was Wainon, Void. Wainon or Void is a film that deals with a very critical topic in Lebanon. In Lebanon, since the war, we still have 17,000 missing persons since the war. And the parents of those missing person, they started a sit-in Beirut in the Esqua square, directly in front of the governmental Sarai, Grand Sarai headquarters. They started a sit-in in 2005 until 2013, like 8 years later, when we did the film. It was the longest sit-in in the history of humanity, and it was still active till 2 years ago, I think. Like 12 or 13 years, a sit-in every Saturday. They go. The first period they stayed every day. Until now, if you pass, it's now we are 2020 and until 2021, 16 years, you can see the tent with the pictures of those people just asking one question: Wainon, where are they? Where are our kids, our parents, our relatives that disappeared during the war? So when George Habaz wrote this film, he wrote it to serve a certain cause, which is those people who are sitting on the streets, mothers and children of people who disappeared. So the film was totally serving the cause of those people, and it was somehow a cinema verite, because even if it was fiction film, however, it gives you this impression that this is the reality, and in fact it is reality. And at the end of the film, we have real footage from the people who are there. On this topic, we had 4 films, 2 documentaries were produced, and 2 fiction films. Bahij Hujaj produced Shatti Yadini and Makhtoufun, Kidnapped, documentary, and Khalil Zarour produced Malaki. I think this is the title of the film. It was also a documentary a docudrama about the same topic. So imagine one topic that is still present in the conscious of the society, and the cinema comes and deals with this topic. This is a model, an example of a socially responsible filmmaking industry or environment. The second film we did with I did with Bahij Hijaj, it speaks about the third age.
Okay.
People at the age of 70 or 80 or 90, how they think, how they perceive society. Part of the film of Good Morning is a socially responsible film that deals with the third age.
I loved it.
The third film we produced is uh, Lebanese, fully Lebanese, because we did one that is not totally Lebanese. So the is C-Section that we will see in the festival next year. Even C-Section, it's a socially responsible film because even it's a comedy. It's a very entertaining film. People will laugh from the first scene till the last one. They will laugh all the time. However, the film is socially responsible. It deals with differences in social status between rich and poor. It deals with even the medical system, hypocrite medical system of hospitals in Lebanon. So all those can be considered as a socially responsible cinema. Let's take other examples from other filmmakers, and the list is endless. You know, Kafarnahum, everyone saw it. It's a socially responsible film.
Yeah.
The Insult is a socially responsible film. We watched in the festival this year the films of Philippe Alatanji. They are all socially responsible. Even the love story, listen, it speaks about youth, how they perceive love, how they understand each other. So stories of love. This is socially responsible cinema environment.
Okay.
Then,
Do you? Yes.
yes.
No, go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. Then the second aspect is organizing film events. So if you observe what Beirut Film Society organizes, we have Beirut International Women Film Festival with all the activities that goes around it. Seminars, workshops. Its objective is very clear: to fix the disequilibrium in the work industry, in the work environment between men and women in Lebanon and the Arab world, because we have to bring it back to 50-50. It cannot be 80-20 or 70-30. Okay, so we are 50-50. We are in the society, we are 50-50. Everywhere it should be applied on all sectors. Especially that in film schools, 65% are females. And in the industry, less than 30% are females. Okay. So this is what we call disequilibrium in the craft, in the work environment. Okay. So it's a clear mission. This is a socially responsible mission. And the second one is to fix how, or not, we will not fix it. Definitely, we don't have the ability to fix, but we'll contribute in fixing how women are portrayed in media and in film, and how they are present as figures. A woman cannot be all the time a victim, cannot be all the time dependent on a man, cannot be all the time the weakest element in the game. Yeah. Especially that schools are teaching against this those notions. Like my youngest daughter, yesterday she had a text that was requested by their instructor. Okay. And they have to write about the prince who is saving the princess from the dragon. So I told my daughter, let's change it. This time the princess will save the prince from the dragon or from whatever it is. I told her from the mosquito, because he's afraid from the mosquito. It's not like there is a dragon and every woman is afraid from the dragon and there is a man who should come and save this woman. So we have to fix
change the narrative.
Yeah, exactly. So we have Beirut International Women Film Festival, Beirut Children and Family Film Festival. It deals with children topics: right for education, right for peace, right for life with dignity, child labor, addiction, cyber addiction, internet. You know, so all those topics are dealt in through films and through seminars and workshops and discussions.
Okay.
The third event The Lebanese Film Festival in Canada is a socially responsible
Absolutely.
project because first it is a cultural event. Its objective is to connect people with their origin, keep the culture alive, and to gather people from all nationalities and even Arabs in Canada, Lebanese, everyone around a cultural dinner, let's say. Let's come and eat from those different ingredients.
Yes.
Okay. So this is a socially responsible event. Cinema for Peace, Cinema for Peace Summer Camp and Film Festival. Also, it's a project that merges between two factors: the event and the training, and they are together. We bring people to train them on how to use cinema to promote for peace, or to have a pro-peace against war cinema. And this is also we can consider it as a socially responsible event.
So
and
what if
the list continues.
Goes on. So what I've gathered, Sam, is that for you, again, it's not a trend, it's a lifestyle. So anything that you do, whether it's a project or talking to someone or an idea that you're designing, it always needs to have a socially responsible element to it. And I think that's the best way to live life in anything that we do. Even, like the way you go to school, the stories that you're providing your students, it always has to have a socially responsible element. And we understand why, because obviously it forces people to be better. How do you think, my last question, because we have 5 minutes left and then we'll open it to the floor.
Yeah, of course. I will do something before the question, just because we didn't talk about the third factor, which is the training sessions, capacity building. So Beirut Film Society also organizes sessions for kids and for youth on, like we have a project called Girls for Change. We are now starting with UNESCO, the third season. The third season, we trained so far more than 250 girls, and we have around 100 coming in the coming month. We train adolescent girls from the age of 13 to 17 on how to use media to make change, audiovisual and film as a tool for change. And while we train them on camera equipment and sound and editing, we give them side sessions on social media, use of social media, personal hygiene and property, recycling, and how to be responsible ecologically. So those girls, they attend a session on how to build their skills in filmmaking, camera and sound and editing, and at the same time they take other things together. We also have another project called Beirut My Child. It's a workshop for kids between the age of 8 and 13 on how to do animation and build from paper cut and models and modeling and how to express their fear and their hopes and everything related to the problems that they observe every day in the social life. So they put it out, they express it out in just making small animations. So those projects, they serve also the main mission of the association.
Wow, I'm wondering if every single filmmaker felt the way you did. I really don't think we'd have any more wars, because I think really, Sam, tell me if I'm right or wrong, I think cinema and film is probably one of the most powerful tools to shift norms and to shift the way society treats each other. Because I think it's really hard for people to change the way they think regarding, let's say, women's roles or how we think about climate change. But when it's done artistically in a movie or a show, I think that's the best way to force people to change. So do you think that cinema has this much power, and we can end it on that? Do you think it's the fact that it uses social responsibility, do you think it has this much power to change the world for better?
I think that what changed the world for worse can change it for better.
Okay.
Because where we are now, it was caused somehow by the influence of media and digital media, and cinema can be also one type of media. Definitely, I cannot claim that cinema can change everything, but it helps to bring things back together, to make people realize the importance of thinking differently. We are now in a planet that is one village. Just a virus started in China, and suddenly I think we have to reconsider our priorities.
Yes, one global village, so we're all connected. We're all
Exactly. And the cinema has a great influence because it reaches all people everywhere. Like when Kafarnahum was screened in China, it was really an example of how cinema from Lebanon, from the smallest country in the world, can make 60 million entries or $60 the profit in the biggest country in terms of population
has
in
no
the world,
boundaries. Cinema has
with
no
different
boundaries.
language and different culture.
Yes. Yeah, it's a testament that, yes, again, cinema is amazing because it has no boundaries. It can travel throughout the world and touch anyone. It's not limited to a single location, to a single spot. It can affect everyone.
Definitely.
And this is why I have so much admiration for these creative masters, such as yourselves and everyone that's been part of the Lebanese Film Festival, because this is how I think you can change the world. Again, through art and through beauty and through creating a space for people to come together, not through the mastra, like the ruler where we hit everyone to listen. I think that's the worst way to have people listen. It's through culture, through art. So
exactly.
it's an honor for me to be having this conversation. Do you have any last words before we end it? We have a minute left.
For me, I'm happy that we did this edition of the festival in the way we did it online, because we were very hesitant, and then we decided with the team, with I Love and Gilbert and all the board, that we have, and even everyone in all the cities. We are groups and hubs in every city, in Toronto, in Ottawa, in Halifax, and so everywhere. So we decided to move with this festival, and it was an amazing experience. I would like to take this 30 seconds left to thank all those who contributed in the success of this edition, because we are the last day, and all those who attended, who got their tickets. More than 2,500 persons watched the films, and this is really makes me feel happy.
That's incredible. Yes, again, art moves the world, cinema moves the world, and the world is thirsty for this. So cheers to more years and more opportunities to have these conversations. And I really look forward to seeing what else you have planned, Sam, for us. And I hope one day I can collaborate with you and work with you. It's been an honor.
Thank you.
Looking
forward.
Have a great day, a great evening in Lebanon. Bye-bye. Bye, Sam. Bye, everyone. Thank you.